guys, Fred and Sheila McCoy. We're at the Hatfield McCoy Museum in Liberty, Kentucky. FredMcCoy.com for all the information. Sheila's behind the camera.
Hi guys, hope you're having a great evening.
We're running through a couple of short videos this evening.
Yeah.
And one of them is, this was on one of the Facebook pages, and it's a newspaper article showing Jimmy Wolford. Mm-hmm. Of course, Jimmy Wolford was a dear friend of mine and Sheila's. And it says, dedication of the monument for the McCoy Cemetery on Blackberry Fort near Hardy, Kentucky, was a wet affair. May the 1st, 1976. As Tom Dodson, superintendent of Pike County Schools, served as a master of ceremonies. Jimmy Wolford, whose mother was a McCoy, holds an umbrella at the left for Joe and Leonard McCoy of Phelps, who bought the big monument for 6 Randall McCoy's, Randall and Sarah's children. Guys, in 1976, when they had this, it was Joe and Leonard McCoy had bought a big monument for the McCoys. Mm-hmm. And we've done a video on this. If you haven't gone back through the other videos, our better videos, more informative videos, are at the beginning of when Sheila and I first started doing this. We made a lot of corrections. But they bought this big monument to recognize 6 of Randall McCoy and Sarah's children at Hardy. Mm-hmm. It's now called the Forbidden Cemetery by some. It was never forbidden until Ron McCoy and Bo McCoy from North Carolina and Georgia filed a lawsuit against John and Barbara Vance, who owns the property. Good people. They just happened to buy some property that had some McCoys buried on it. Mm-hmm. They inherited the graveyard. They never had no problem letting nobody visit it until these guys wanted to make a commercialization thing out of it and charge people tours to come up there to see the graves. John and Barbara didn't agree with that. So they were sued. They won in court. Barbara and John did, and we can go visit the graveyard on Memorial Day every year now.
Yeah, okay.
Back to Jimmy Wolford here. Jimmy Wolford started this dedication for the McCoy Monument there at Blackberry Fort. Okay. And it was funny how that came about. Like I said, we've discussed it in another video, but he'd come and he'd borrowed, my dad had bought a shotgun off of them at the Blackberry supermarket. My dad used to wheel and deal and everything. And Jimmy had come back and borrowed the shotgun when they were going to do the dedication. And he said that he got Willis Hatfield. He was going to show up. And of course, Jim McCoy, which was Jimmy Wolford's grandfather. Yeah. His mother's dad, Rose Wolford's father right there. And so he borrowed the shotgun back off my father, and it's back there in one of the cases along with a signed document from Jimmy about it. Mm-hmm. And he was going to let Jim McCoy hold the shotgun, which he once owned, and Willis Hatfield was going to hold another gun. They was going to take pictures. And everybody got talking about it, and Dad and several of them said, Jimmy, you're going to start the feud all over again. You're going to have these guns up there, people drinking, and you're going to... So anyway, at the end, Jimmy brought the gun back, and they didn't take pictures with the guns, and they asked him why, and he said, I got thinking about it, and I was afraid it was going to start that feud over. And it was funny to listen to him. But anyway, it did rain that day. It stormed, and it was a wet occasion. A lot of the people, once they left that celebration that day, and we may have covered this in another video, but this is Blackberry Supermarket. And here on that wall right there, on that window, with that arrow pointing toward it, would have been a sign like this. Now this is not the sign, we don't have that sign now, but Ella and Cora McCoy, Ella and Cora's Hatfield McCoy collection inside. And inside those 2 windows right there is where Mom McCoy had given my mother some items, and Mom had put them on display at the Blackberry supermarket. Now, she didn't put them on display for the local people because the local people was either not interested in the Hatfield McCoy feud, or they didn't talk about it a lot. A lot of people back in the day didn't discuss it, especially the McCoys, because the Hatfields, West Virginia Hatfields, were so overbearing, and if you stood up or said anything, you knew you was going to have problems. So it was bully, nothing but bulliness. And it wasn't worth the aggravation or the cause them problems to take them on at the time. And through the years, the hostility, somebody said the other day, we had a group of people in here, and they said, why are you doing it now? And it's finally built up. It built up to the point to where it was either say something or forever hold your peace and just let it. And the stories were getting so wild and untrue.
Outlandish.
And outrageous, huh? Outlandish. We had to do something. And where we come across sometimes as being arrogant or troublemakers, we're not. We're simply trying to set the record straight. And it's hard to do, especially hard to do with Facebook pages where people can put anything they want to on there and people believe it. And but that's Blackberry Supermarket. And again, when this was over that day, when this was all over the newspaper, when they had that dedication. But when this was over with, Willis Hatfield, Jim McCoy, Joe or Leonard, I don't know, I can't remember which one, but one of the McCoy boys, because my father was friends with one of them, I think it was Leonard, because my mother was at one time a Make One cheerleader at Make One High School. She was a cheerleader along with Leonard McCoy's wife, I forget her name now, but she's in Jimmy Wolford's book, and they were big friends. So anyway, they came by the Blackberry Supermarket and they viewed some of the Hatfield McCoy collection that Mom had on exhibit there. It was, up to that point, it was called the Hatfield McCoy collection. And when those people left that day, several of them, they told Mother, Coke, why don't you start a museum? You should have a Hatfield McCoy museum. And, excuse me, that was 1976, and that's about the time that Mom changed it over, and we started out with the Hatfield McCoy Museum and with all the
lamps and...
Oh, the lamps, things that Grandma had collected from when Paul was a blacksmith, and he would take things, or cheers. We used to have cheers in the barn, stacked up in the barn loft, and they were just stacked up with pieces of masking tape on them. This chair belonged to Floyd Hatfield. This chair belonged to Constable Floyd Hatfield, who I'm talking about. And because I had an Uncle Floyd Hatfield, and again, the Kentucky Hatfields, we had relation on the Kentucky side, were some of the greatest people in the world. So, but anyway, I saw that paper, and I just wanted to touch on it because there's Jimmy Wolford, and Jimmy Wolford was the man. Now, again, he made up a lot of stuff, and he would be the first to tell you. And again, one day we are going to put all of our tapes together of Jimmy. Because we taped them. He wanted us to. He sung to Sheila. And he gave us things to put into the museum. And he told us different stories, and he told us the correct perspective. Not the perspective that he put on his album to sell albums. Not what people had put in books because of something he had said. He put it in there as a joke, and people actually wrote it as the truth. And that's how it came about. And he was astonished by that. But you'll hear the videos one day. We're going to get that all done. Guys, it's Fred and Sheila McCoy. We are at the Hatfield McCoy Museum.
Hi guys. Hope you're having a great evening. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye.